Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. Today we continue with the same topic that speaks about what makes productive people to be ultra productive or to become more and even more productive in their lives. And I want to continue with this topic. It's part 3 today. Very, very important topic that we speak about productive people. And we have said that it's very important that you become productive as a young man, and sometimes also as a leader, you need to become productive. And we have said that productive people are actually more productive, particularly because they eat the frog. They eat the frog. And what do I mean by saying they eat the frog? These are the people that are able to figure out what is hard and that is what is important for that particular day. And they are actually going to work on this in the first 2 hours each morning. So in other words, that which is a hard thing to do, but it's very important to do, what they will do is they will make sure that there's some work actually allocated or time allocated, maybe about 2 hours every day to start off with this project and continue pushing it a little bit. And make sure that it is a long project, yes, but you must actually be dedicated to it. That's what we call they eat the frog. So in other words, they face difficulties and they are able actually to face difficulties with boldness and be decisive about it and say, this is one thing that we're going to do. And I want to urge you as a young man to understand that it is very important that you eat the frog as well. You go straight into it and say, this is very key, this is very important, and I cannot ignore it. And I cannot actually delay in not doing it, though I've got a lot of things to be done, but I'm going to prioritize this one, maybe at least 2 hours of the day in the morning. Let me start with it and push it. And that may be that you are writing a book, maybe. It may be that you are busy with a big project as well in your life. It may be that there's a project that is very key in your life that you want to push. But remember that it may not be a project that will occupy you every single hour of the day. So therefore, because if you do that, you might as well be wasting time. So we speak about when you start to prioritize and say, I'm going to work on this project early mornings, maybe for about 2 hours before I move on to something else. Very, very important. That is what we call eating the frog. Very, very important. And I want to also emphasize that the people that are successful and more successful at all given times, these are the people that they deliberately embrace imperfections. And this is what makes them to become actually very, very key in making sure that they're developing their character to embrace success and productivity in their lives. Now, when we talk about deliberately embracing imperfections, it's very key for us to see that it's by allowing for imperfections, you can focus on progress rather than perfection. So which would mean that you would understand that there's nobody perfect in this world. So when you acknowledge that, you become very productive. Because people that are thinking that they must be perfect, they become therefore very obsessed. And they spend more time on one thing without moving on and doing something else. And that we want to emphasize. So people that are productive in their lives, the productivity comes from the fact that they deliberately embrace imperfections. They allow themselves to say, I'm not perfect. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to make sure that it's successful, and it will be successful. And we've seen people like that are making progress in everything that they do. So they focus on progress instead of focusing on imperfections, which can prevent actual procrastination and stress as well. Because the people that are too much into perfection and they are actually stressed by feeling that they are not successful, they are not being able to push the needle and make sure that things are successful. And because of that, these people delay and they become procrastinating as well, whereby they are delaying everything because they feel like, what if I'm not perfect in it? And whatever they've done, they always keep on going back and try to redoing and redoing. And the more they do that, the more they waste time. And you find that things are just not progressing anymore because they're wasting time in backwards and forwards. And that's very, very important, that people that are productive becomes deliberately embracing imperfections and be aware that they are not perfect, be aware that they cannot be perfect, be aware that no one in this world is perfect. So therefore, they must move on even though something is done and not perfectly so. Remember, you don't need to be perfect for you to progress. If you know that you are not perfect, so continue knowing that you are imperfect anyway, but make sure that you continue doing and moving on to progress. Focus on progress instead of focusing on the failures that you are facing right now. The other thing that makes productive people to be even ultra productive, you become more productive, is they are epic note takers. They are very serious in articulating notes and writing up and so on. So productive people are actually epic note takers. They write down everything digitally, so you never forget things. They don't forget things. So they will write things and they will actually put them in tabulation form. They will know that these are things and that I need to do. And then later what they will do is they will actually sit and start prioritizing and say, what do I start with first? Because when you prioritize and imagine and decide on what you start with first, you are going to focus and make sure that the things that you start with, you are able actually to push them to success and to finalize them. This is very important. And I want to emphasize that because people that are productive, they are coming from the belief in taking notes, the belief in writing things down, because you cannot remember everything, by the way. And I want to emphasize the fact that you must actually not trust your brain that much that you will remember everything. It's normal to forget. And that is the reason why I want to emphasize that epic note takers, you find that these are the people that become very, very successful or productive in their lives. It is very important that we remember that. Now, also, these people, they avoid meetings like the plague. These are the people that are productive. They make sure that 99% of the meetings that they attend, they are very valuable. So they scrutinize and they actually filter the meetings. They look at them, which one to attend and which one not to attend. But also in those meetings, as I've said, what they will do is they will write notes, because those notes will actually be speaking to what is for them, because they are listening generally, but there are those specifics that are actually speaking to them. There are those specific that are to-do list for them. So if it is a to-do list for you, it is very important that you write it down. Because if you don't write it down, you're more likely going to forget. And I want to urge you as a young man to remember that people that are productive are those that take notes, are those that write down notes in the meetings, and they would remember. And also when the minutes come, they are the people that look at an area that is to-do list for them. And based on that, they will actually add up on their notes so that they can actually go and implement. And I've said this earlier, that then they're going to sit down and they are actually prioritizing on what to be done and what is not necessary. And based on that, what is agent and what is not agent as well. And then they will attend to those things that are agent, and they will do and make sure that they've ticked them, they've done them. And those that are not doable at this particular time, they will set up time aside. And this time will be the time that they would use actually in doing exactly what they needed to do. And this is very important that we emphasize that. And I want to urge you to understand that without writing notes, you may not remember all the things. As I've said, your brain is not a computer. It may not actually save anything. And some of the things that are not saved, you may not remember them at all. I want to check out right here because I'm done. But before I check out, I want to remind you that we've got our Facebook page, Young Men Empowerment Forum, and also Micornus Phokane. So please like those pages and also make sure that you click notification buttons on them. Don't forget our YouTube channel, Young Men Empowerment Forum, and also Micornus Phokane. Please, if you can, I want to urge you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to click notification button as well. We have got our YouTube channel with a lot of materials that were posted in the past, but also we have in the TikTok account as well, which may be very useful for you. I believe that your life shall never be the same again as you continue following us on these platforms. Allow me to check out right here and say cheers for now.